Problem 13. Problem 13 says, if x times e to the y is equal to sine y plus 4x, we need to find dy dx. Okay, so usually what we try to do is try to solve for y, but in this case we can't solve for y and just take the derivative of y. So what we have to do is implicit differentiation. And during the process we're going to encounter product rule and the derivative sign. So I put this here to recall. Alright, let's go ahead and solve this. So in order to solve this, we got to take the derivative in respect to x to both sides. So that means d dx of x e to the y is equal to d dx of sine y plus 4x. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking the derivative of this in respect to x on this side, and I'm taking the derivative of this in respect to x on this side. Okay, so by doing that, I have a function times another function. So I must use the product rule. Alright, so the product rule states the derivative of x, that's 1. So we have 1 times e to the y plus the derivative e to the y. Also another thing I forgot to recall here is if you have a function e to the x, the derivative of e to the x is just e to the x. Okay? So the derivative of e to the y is just e to the y. However, we must multiply that by dy dx, because y is a function in respect to x. Okay? So ey times dy dx times g of x, which is x, yes. Okay? So that's the derivative for this side. Okay, so that equals the derivative of sine y plus 4x. Alright, so derivative with respect to x. So derivative of sine y. So derivative of sine y, cosine y. However, since we have y, we have to go ahead and multiply that by dy dx. We have a function y. Plus the derivative of 4x, that's just 4. Okay? Now we're going to go ahead and solve for dy dx, because we need to find dy dx. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move everything that has dy dx to one side. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. We can move this over here, and we can move this e to the y to the other side. Alright, so I'm going to have ey times x dy dx minus cosine y dy dx. That's equal to 4 minus e to the y. Okay? I can factor out a dy divided by dx. So go ahead and factor that out. Dy dx. And I'm left with e to the y times x minus cosine of y. Okay? That's equal to 4 minus e to the y. So if I want to solve for dy dx, I gotta divide both sides by this. Okay? Dyx cosine of y. Okay, so this cancels out. I'm just left on this side with dy dx. So dy dx is equal to this. Just rewrite that, and we're done. Ready? And that is your answer. Okay, so we had to use the product rule, derivative of sine, derivative of e to the x. We had to use implicit differentiation. We then factored out dy dx to solve for it. And that is your answer.